in buds, every day is a struggle. When I was in buds, the log PT, the the 4 mile time runs, the IBS surf passage. It's just like everything in life. You could hype yourself out. The mindset of how you talk to yourself, you're not going to succeed at everything. You're not going to be the best at everything. You want to be. And how you get there is the way that you approach everything. We lost a ton of races, but we also won a bunch of evolutions. And so when you learn that there's growth in the failure of, if you didn't win a certain evolution, if that day was hard, it kicked your butt, there's an end. It eventually ends. You just got to try your hardest, try your best. And eventually you get to a point to where when you find failure or you make a mistake, instead of, we're very hard on ourselves. Instead of letting that overwhelm you, that as if everyone's looking at you like, oh, you failed. Well, the quicker, and I actually have a course that I teach in my team building events, it's called What's Next. I can relate it to when I taught CQC or assaults, is when you're going through a house, it's just like life. You can make one entry and it could be the best one, the absolute best. You did everything perfect. Success. You found success. There's more rooms in the house. There's more work that needs to be done. You have to find, well, what's next? And how are you going to approach what's next? Let's say you go into another room and you made mistakes. It was terrible. You made mistakes. It doesn't mean that the work stops. It just means that you've got to not let that overwhelm you and continue to function. You have to find that next step. You have to find what's next, because there's work. You can say, oh, I had the best room clearance, and then I went to the next one and had a terrible room clearance. Well, that next one could be another awesome room clearance, or it could be another one. But bottom line is, in the bigger picture of things, you still have work to do. There's still more rooms in the house. There's still more. You've got a bigger goal in mind. You've got to focus on, don't tell yourself, oh, I screwed that up. And now you give away that precious resource that you can never get more of, which is time. You take that time and you focus on how to be positive. That's what I learned very early, is that your brain is like magnets. There's a positive and a negative. If you let your brain go to negative, you're going to stay there. It's going to grab a hold of you, and that's that's the path you're on. But if you go to positive, then now you can find that positive, and you're on a trajectory that's better. That happens in such a fast rate, a fast cycle, that when you look at what's next, you can either wallow and feel sorry for yourself, which will eat you alive in the SEAL teams. You won't make it through buds. And if you do make it to the SEAL teams, if that is your mindset, you will find yourself on your way out pretty quick. The way to find what's next is embrace whether success or failure, to learn and grow from it. What did I do right? What did I do wrong, and why? And if you continue that cycle and like, okay, I'm going to be positive on this, that is where that single lesson learned of, you can either say, oh, poor me, or you can say, why not me, and go find success. And that's what I found was one of the most powerful lessons that I learned early.